and now I'm able to yap in front of a camera. So it's given me a lot.
Now you're here.
Now I'm here.
The Superset podcast.
On the Superset podcast.
Number 3 is movement. It's like the gym I'm at all the time.
It's like home.
You will be my girl, my girl. Have you heard that?
Probably have. Chad Wesley.
Chad Wesley. He also got super into Jiu Jitsu. I feel like everyone dabbles with grappling at some point. For everyone who doesn't know, Dhruv has a 161 kgs bench and
a little bit less than what I deadlift. So train by day, Superset podcast by night.
all day.
All day. Yeah.
So I've actually changed the name of the podcast over the last week.
What do you call it now?
From Good Game, it's now Superset.
Superset. I like that.
I just like how it sounds.
Fair enough.
Superset Radio, Superset whatever. Superset podcast. So, welcome to episode 1 of Superset. Here with my first guest, Dhruv. I'm laughing because we've actually shot this episode before last week while we trained arms. The audio was somehow not connected to the camera and we had nothing. Like just two good-looking dudes talking, but
and training arms.
Yeah, and training arms, but no voice. So hopefully we get it right this time. Like the first plate goes like almost upside down, and the next plate, so that like in powerlifting the judges can see like on all sides how much the weight is. Yeah, but usually when I would like do it in like commercial gyms or something, like people would look at me weird, like why are you like loading it weird?
And we have the same kind of habits, I guess, like because sometimes when you're working in and somebody who is not really into the whole powerlifting kind of scene, I guess they just load the plates wherever. One will be on the inside, one will be on the outside. So it sort of irks you a little bit. So I'll just remove everything. I'll load it back the right way and then go again. It might take another another minute or so, but it's fine.
I can't lift it if it's like,
off.
I can't see how much it is on the inside.
Yeah.
Like, it wasn't the case always.
What about the color of the collars? That's also another thing.
That doesn't bother me as much.
Not anymore.
Just whatever color. Sometimes I do different colors. So you were talking to me about like being a coach in India.
Yeah.
What's that like?
Like these days, especially like, just the amount of people who get into it, who are like really involved in this, it's growing. And the knowledge base is also growing. It's not like before where it was a lot of old school methods, bro science, that kind of thing, and just like what my Guruji told me kind of stuff. That stuff is still present, of course, but more people are like getting into like what's a little more rational, what's a little more backed by real world result kind of thing, seeing what the rest of the world is doing because the rest of the world is so far ahead, right? And it's good in that sense because people are reading up, people are experimenting, implementing, learning more. They're doing all that type of stuff, and that's mainly because like so many more people are getting into it. You have a lot more approaches, you have different people trying more things, and there's more opportunity. It's a field that like maybe back then it was looked at like where it's not really something that you can do very well financially in. Now that there is that incentive as well, I believe like more people get into it, more people are like sort of driven to do better at it, learn more, give more, put more kind of thing.
Everyone grows.
Yeah. So once you see that, right, you also have a good incentive to sort of get in and like really commit to it.
Yeah.
So I think it's getting better, especially given like, let's say for powerlifting itself, right, like a lot more people are getting involved. So it's fantastic that way. So of course the base expands. So if you have a big base, obviously you'll have great apex.
Your side first.
Actually, like even the online scene for that matter, right? Like even that is fairly ripe, so to speak.
Yeah, but I don't think like it's at its peak yet, though. For sure. So when the weight starts getting heavier, like I have like a setup where I don't know if it like looks silly, but I've been doing it for like so long.
Yeah.
Kind of like a swimmer where like
second nature.
Get my lats in really tight like that, and like my lats aren't even tight right now. It's just like a mental thing at this point, and then I dip my hips down.
Command the lats. There we
I
go.
lift it.
Another. All right. Again. Up. All right.
Yeah, that's
solid.
something. Do you have something like that? Like, I don't think you do.
I used to do some John Hack type stuff.
John Hack does this.
Yeah, he's the god, the goat, the idol.
Yeah, for sure.
So we'd always try to like replicate, right?
I was doing that too, like in the middle.
Yeah.
Then I was like, no.
Yeah. And then my deadlift technique
stick what I'm doing, bro. Like, yeah. I even tried sumo in the middle, but again, just wasn't for me. You ever dabbled in sumo?
Absolutely, man. In and out quite a few times. I think the last time I did it was like a few months ago. And then I stopped completely. Right? Easy work. Let's go. Superb slack vein. Again. Nice. Come on. Let's get another. Superb. Love it. Good job.
I'll blame the bar moving away. So how hard that felt. Your t-shirt says National Powerlifting Jam 2023.
Yes, sir. 2023.
How was that?
The contest?
Yeah.
It was fantastic actually. It was a good contest. I qualified in 23 in the state. I got second at that time and I went up to Nats. June of 23, I think.
This was full powerlifting.
Full powerlifting, bro. Full powerlifting. And yeah, I think I totaled 560. I totaled 575 in the state meet. But I totaled a little less in the national contest. Maybe if I totaled like 575, I could have pulled a podium. But I just got one for bench. I won the bench, but yeah.
Yeah, this looks way better now.
Level. It's a good spot. Yeah.
For everyone who doesn't know, Dhruv has a 161 kgs bench and
a little bit less than what I deadlift, so yeah.
How did you get there?
How did I get there? Years actually, like it's a lot of time. Everyone sort of just asks me sometimes like, how do you sort of bench and like what do you do to bench? What are the things you do? How long will it take? That type of thing. But it took years, man. Like, but one thing I'd like to sort of point out is every year, now when I look back, it was just 10 kgs of progress every year for 6-7 years at a time. The first year, I went from zero, literally zero, maybe 8 to 10 kilos I was benching. I used to get pinned under like...
Not even the bar?
Like, not even one of these full-size bars.
It's like a 10 kg local bar.
A 10 kg local bar, exactly. Like, it used to be one of these curtain rod bars. And I'd have one of those and like my friends would have to like pull it off of me because I'd get pinned under 15 kilos, 16 kilos, some shit like that. And slowly it went up to like 70 by the end of the summer.
You talk about ego lifting, this is the opposite.
This
Getting pinged under a 10 kg bar.
Dude, imagine that. Like I used to get whooped every single day. And yeah, just kept at it and just expressed because like I used to be there every day. That was the main thing. Just be there every day. Don't expect too much out of it and just keep doing the work. You don't know when the sort of result will come. You can see, of course, like there's a linearity to it, especially when you're new and you're fresh. So yeah, over the years, I made like a lot of progress in year 1, year 2, year 3. Maybe like at the end of 2018-19, I was benching like 100, 105. And then from there, I started running Wendler 531 with a little adjustment. Just kept doing that for a long time, resetting, recycling again and again. Eventually, I was able to like, you know, just keep adding 10 kilos. Like I didn't think much of it. I just wanted to improve by like, say like 2.5, 5 kilos every
month or so.
Yeah, like every macro cycle.
Quarter maybe.
Yeah, pretty much. 3 weeks, 4 weeks, whatever it is, small blocks, right? I used to run 3-week blocks. So every 3-week block, I wanted to like improve maybe 2.5 from where I started. And that's it. That added up to like 10 kilos a year and every year. That kind of thing. So this shit doesn't happen overnight. It's just repetitive. That's all it is. Nothing.
That's what it takes, man.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. And of course, some technique and stuff that I picked up from my coaches later once I started competing. But before that, it was just muscling shit. So yeah.
Yeah.
That's how that went.
I'm guilty for muscling shit sometimes. It's not moving, I just muscle through it.
A wise man once said, strength is never a weakness.
Mark Bell?
Mark Bell. You know.
Smelly.
Mark Smelly Bell.
It's been around a long time.
For sure.
Yeah.
That's the stuff we grew up on. No, I think even like the last time we were talking about
It's a dream to go to super training gym at some point.
ST.
California.
Yeah.
Sacramento,
CA.
Yeah. He goes in like phases. One phase he's like fully on keto, and then after that like carnivore.
Yeah.
Then
a lot of the guys got onto that. Like that's how I think it is. Because you've sort of seen them through all these phases. The fat powerlifter into the jack business owner.
He left the powerlifter phase. I stopped following him. Not interested anymore. Started running marathons in the middle.
Yeah. Healthy shit. Dude,
I'm following you for the ego lifting. Now I think I followed like a lot of Jiu Jitsu people as well who also left. The Juggernaut Training Systems guy that...
Chad Wesley.
He also got super into Jiu Jitsu. I feel like everyone dabbles with grappling at some point. I don't know, I feel like you guys also will.
Eventually.
It's only time.
It is only a matter of time.
You know who to call when you need a gym recommendation in Bangalore.
For sure.
Wayne is your guy. But like all of them like had a phase. It's weird that they were lifting, got really strong.
Yeah.
Then for some reason they all just started grappling.
I don't know, I guess a change of pace. Like even I feel that way actually now, you know, like it's become like very monotonous as much as I thought at the time that strength is what I want to pursue, and like, but it comes in many different forms. You want to do a lot with the body, right? Like it's capable of many things.
Push it to its limits.
Yeah. I want to just like, you know, give a shout out to our buddy Melvin, friend of...
Infant Melvin.
Mellu, as we call him, but like, so he is able to do anything well, whatever he touches, he is really able to do all of it well. Gifted in that sense.
Yeah.
So he sort of shows you, like, you know, when you have people that you can see and sort of like within one arm distance, you know, who are doing this type of stuff, and they're not just on the other side of the screen, guys who are grappling, running, fucking doing flips and shit, doing a handstand. They're right in front of you. Jujimufu type of guys.
Back in the day.
That kind of shit, man. Like, you know, it makes you think that, okay, maybe even I can do that kind of stuff. Like, it's always nice to have these sort of people around who show you that you can be a bodybuilder, you can be a powerlifter, you can train MMA, you can do a lot of stuff with the body, you can do so much, right? So you don't get stuck in one path kind of thing.
That's kind of why I did jiu-jitsu as well. Right out of college, I came to Bangalore, and I'm sure there were like way stronger people then, but my idea of strength was different back then. And it was wrong that I thought like I'm as strong as I can be.
Yeah.
That's totally wrong.
Yeah.
But back then I was like 21 and I'm like, how much stronger can I get? My deadlift was 180 back then, sumo. Bench, not even 100, I think it was 95. For some reason I just couldn't get 2 plates. And squat was 140, 145. And I was like, dude, I'm super strong. How much stronger can I get? Let's try jiu-jitsu. And then I did that for like 3 to 4 years. And went from white belt to blue belt, got pretty good at jiu-jitsu, competed a lot.
Nice.
Like, I was like competing at a time when there were a lot of competitions happening back then in jiu-jitsu, like 2 years ago. Now it's dimmed down a little, but back then it was super active, the scene. Competed like once every 2 months at that point. Didn't do too well competitively. Like in a lot of, most of the tournaments, I got knocked out in the first round itself. Like and then it has like a system where if you're knocked out in the first round, you go home.
Oh, shit.
So I would pay all this money to go from Bangalore to Delhi or Bangalore to Kolkata where all the competitions are happening, Bangalore to Bombay, and knocked out in the first round. Paid the tournament fees as well. It's not like, it's okay. It's like
how
2K.
are tournament fees compared to like, because powerlifting is pretty cheap.
2 to 3K.
2 to 3K? Fair. How's the organization? Good?
Private competitions are really good. There was one called Strangle back in the day.
Okay.
Best organization I've ever seen.
Nice.
ADCC India is like, ADCC is like the Olympics of the sport.
I've heard.
So the Indian version ADCC India organized pretty well.
What does ADCC stand for?
Abu Dhabi Combat Club.
Okay,
So,
and that's the world level organization.
That's the current, there's actually like one other organization being started right now.
Achha.
So that's competing with ADCC.
I know Gordon Ryan competes in ADCC.
Only does ADCC. There's another guy called Craig Jones.
Okay.
Started his own thing called CJI, Craig Jones Invitational.
Okay.
ADCC still has brand.
Of course.
If you're an ADCC champ, you're like the best in the world at this sport. Which Gordon is.
Gordon is.
Can't argue with that.
Yeah.
So I did that as well. They had comps in Goa and Delhi. I didn't do the Delhi one, I did the Goa one, but like got smashed in like the first round only in most of them. The furthest I went was once to a semi-final. Again, like lost and came 4th overall in my weight category. And yeah, like there's a lot of mistakes I made with that. Like could have been better prepared. Like also I think maybe dropping down to a lower weight class would be helpful. Because I was competing in 77. But
fill out your class more, right?
I was like, I was 76 only. So it didn't really make a difference. Or maybe if I cut to 66. But then again, like there's super fast guys in the 66. Like they move like lightning, like my shots just move really fast. Maybe I don't know, maybe ifs. But I might not compete for a while in Jiu Jitsu. If ever, I'll compete again. I'm back to like lifting. I'm back to being strong. But yeah, I just want to see how far I could take that. And
you brought a fairly interesting thing up actually. Now, when you speak about like your first contest experience and that it wasn't great and like you know, getting knocked out in the first few stages, type of thing.
First round itself, I'm out.
So what was your sort of state of mind? How did you look at contests? Did it give you a drive to do better? Because for me, I think the contest that I enjoyed the most after all these years is the first one that I sort of did outside of college, of course. The first open contest that I did, where I didn't place. Like I was like so close to placing, and I was like close to getting a national call and like all that type of stuff. But that when I look back in hindsight, right, like that was the best contest that I did.
Experience-wise.
Not just experience, like in terms of like what it sort of gave me, because of course you go into everything thinking that you'll do well.
You
of course,
don't, you get smashed.
You get fucked up, right? And then like you see, oh fuck, like
it's worse when you like spend a lot of money, especially when you're not making a lot or anything, and you take it from like your parents or something. And you do it.
And then you go in there, you have school scholarships and shit, and you're spending it on all of this.
Yeah, that's even worse because like the school expects something now out of this.
That kind of thing, man. And yeah, like, but I still view that as one of my best experiences because like I went in there thinking that okay, whatever I get, I get. I placed 4th at the time, and out of I think in my flight there were like 10 to 12 lifters.
That's not bad at all.
It was okay,
especially for a first one.
And so yeah, so I was like this close, right? And I was like, okay, it sort of gives you a sort of say like a little more incentive, a little more drive to do better, to try harder, to come back. Because every contest, man, Wayne, like after every prep, I'm like, fuck this shit. I'm going to do calisthenics. I'm not going to do this powerlifting shit anymore. And then I go there and then I see somebody who's like, you know, 15, 20, 30, 40 kilos ahead. I'm like, fuck, I need to get back to the drawing board, get back to work.
That's
so
what it takes.
It gives you that sort of kick again, right? So yeah.
Same for me.
You've seen that from Scarface, just when I think I'm out, they pull me back in. Yeah, that kind of thing. But yeah, that's how I view it. What did you sort of see it as when?
The first one I actually went in not expecting anything.
Much,
Because I'm coming from like a powerlifting background, I don't even know what it's about. I watched a few YouTube videos before that, and same, they were like, you won't find your rhythm until your 3rd comp. And it was extremely anxiety inducing. I was really anxious. Like before lifting, I'm kind of okay, like my anxiety level is at like a 3 or 4. But like before grappling with someone, it's at like 8 or 9. I'm super scared, like not even just like tapping in time, just things you think about, like you look at the guy opposite. So we have this app where the competition is organized on, it's called Smooth Comp. So they actually follow my other people of Jiu Jitsu, Smooth Comp, super sweet guys. They made this app where you register on it and then they put you in like tournament flights. So you can see who you're going up against. And they release that the night before, depends on the comp. ADCC they release it the night before. And then I saw my opponent was this guy, then I go and look him up on Instagram. You're not supposed to do that. I mean, you can do that if you want to, like they say not to do it.
But it's not good for your state of mind.
Not good for you. Especially the night before, when you're trying to sleep, get some rest. So I looked him up, he looked like a jacked dude, okay? He was from Hyderabad, like totally like, he looked fit and he looked way more muscular than me at the time. And then you think all sorts of things, like what can this guy do to me? Like how long has he been training? I got into my own head a little. And then I just gassed out, like my cardio wasn't there at the point. Like I started working on cardio after that. So there's that graph, right? How much you learn from failure, how much you learn from success. I learned a lot. Technique-wise, I went and worked on it. So after each comp, I just kept getting better and better. But like what you said about I want to do calisthenics, I had that phase as well where I didn't want to change the sport, but I was always like, okay, I'll move down to a lower weight class. And then I'll fuck up the 66 kg guys.
Yeah.
And then I just keep training and then I get back into the flow of things. I'm like, fuck it, I like food too much. I'm just
Keep going.
And just get better technique-wise. That's what I've always done. Like,
exactly.
Technique went up and I got better, but even like my opponents got better. And yeah, like my best ever was 4th, but that was it.
It's like a double-edged sword, no? In that sense, then, like now that you can. So even for like say in PL, right? You can see who your competitors are. Some of them. But one thing I fucking love about like PI is it is unpredictable. Like everybody you see on the gram doing fantastic, they're lifting crazy shit. And, like they put out some crazy content and like, you know, they give threats on the gram that I'm going to mess shit up and all of that.
Yeah.
You'll find some dude from Assam, he trains in some fucking shed. He has a bunch of Fred Flintstone weights. He's going to come, he's going to wreck everybody. And you don't know what he's been up to. He probably doesn't have 5G up there. It's in the jungle. And
You said Fred Flintstone weights?
yeah, man, like he's gonna have some Fred Flintstone weights, bro. He's gonna have some fucking, I don't know, made out of stone, kind of 20 kilos or something.
Crazy.
Tell me if it's calibrated or not. Comp specific equipment. You
They
know?
come with thighs the size of like both of my thighs.
Yeah. Size of a fucking oak tree.
Inzer knee sleeves. And
Yeah, just show up out of nowhere. You don't know where these guys are coming from. You don't know what's going on up there in those
just
hills.
fuck everyone up.
They fuck everybody up. So much for the gram. The guys on the gram, they don't even place 4th, 5th, 6th, whatever the
Yeah,
fuck.
that's
you
how
know?
it is.
Get blown out of the water. So that's one of the crazy things about the contest. You sort of go in when you see your gram and like you're like, okay, maybe this is what's coming, this is who is coming. Once you go there, you'll see that okay, there's some real big fish out there.
Yeah,
You
dude.
know? And you know nothing about them.
Yeah.
So that's cool. Like that's the kick of the contest. Even in today's day and age, you know, like where you know everything about sort of who's coming, who's not coming.
You still don't know.
You still
who
don't
the dark
know.
horse will be in your weight class.
Or maybe what I mean is like people who are not like very visible.
Almost low-key guys.
Low-key guys, yeah. This is just a part of their thing. Like, you know, like there's this guy who comes every year to RPL meets. And he used to be a weightlifter back then.
Okay.
So you can still see he's got the Adidas singlet that they give for weightlifters. Like
Yeah.
I've never seen anybody else with it. So a dude from Pondicherry, some of you might know who he is. And this dude is incredible, man. Like he comes, he does some unconventional stuff, but like he fucks everybody up. Attempt after attempt, it's a record. He beats everybody who's posting crazy threats on the gram and like whatnot. And you don't know who this dude is. You go to his Instagram, he's taking funny pictures in the beach and stuff. Like you don't know what's
always-
hiding. Yeah.
It's always guys like that.
Love it, dude. Just love it. Like he comes with this team of boys and they hype him up and you know he does some funny stuff and like
I like
wins places. So much for that.
That's what I want to see. I want to see the sport going so far in the country where these guys are like representing us
Yeah.
everywhere.
Yeah.
And like
Or maybe like guys
India's
like
out
this
there.
have better resource. Guys like this are
Exactly.
exposed to better resource. You know, just private organizations like somebody sort of sees them, sponsors this, that, whatever. Maybe somebody out of the kindness of their heart, whatever the scene is, right? Whatever it is.
not even
Opportunity.
kindness, just return on investment.
Even that.
There
yeah.
is that.
Whatever it is. Yeah. Exactly.
You will be my girl, my girl. Have you heard that?
Probably have.
My girl. Yeah, I was listening to it while lifting the other day.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, like I'll listen to like just the most non-hype songs just to get hyped up. And
Absolutely. I mean, see, if you like it, you like it.
I just like the vibe
That's it.
of it.
That is it. Easy. Again. Let's go. Right. So I want to,
Single arm.
yeah, so not single arm. I'm just going to use a single handle and I'll just do like a T-bar grip and this feels really sick.
Sure.
So let's try it out.
Cool.
What do you think?
Yeah.
Different.
Did you invent that?
Yeah, something like that.
Yeah. Feels
Shetty pull downs. Keep that in mind.
shaky pull down.
Shetty pull down.
Shitty pull down.
Yeah, so much for Meadows Rose. But there's one thing I just like to do, you know, I like to mess around, I like to try stuff and you find out stuff, you know, like everybody's aware with the famous fuck around and find out, but that's for the wrong reasons. But yeah, this is one of the right reasons. We become very dogmatic, you know, like you have to use this, you have to do this handle, you have to do this grip.
Especially now, right? Like
Yeah.
where we are right now with lifting.
Yeah,
Like so periodized,
periodized, yeah.
so systematic. Where like you want to go back to like the pumping iron era.
Exactly.
We were not even around then.
Yeah.
You know?
I don't think any of us were.
80s, 90s.
90s, yeah, late 70s, early 80s.
What do you think the scene was back then in India with lifting? Like non-existent?
It definitely was there, but I think it was like restricted to say people who were like say in the akadas, pelwans, those type of guys. They used to do more of this, and they'd be doing more bodyweight type of stuff. Maybe they used to use old implements, your gadas, maces, that type of thing. That we see a resurgence now because whatever, you know, stuff comes and goes every 10 years. I've seen Kabuki in the States.
Yeah, Kabuki
They
strength.
use stuff like this, they reinvent it. This is made out of wood, they make that stuff out of whatever, steel or whatever, and they, redesign and sell it, but the principle is the same, right? The principle is the same. It's a weight at the end, there's a long lever, and you do some shoulder-based kind of work. But it comes from a sport, it comes from wherever, maybe our own little subcontinent kind of thing. Come on. Here's your hater. He's our first and foremost hater.
What's up?
Infant Mellu.
Melvin, what do you think about vitamin S?
Vitamin
Are you
S?
on it? Will you ever go on it?
Bro, vitamin S, I'm pretty sure Dhruv is on it.
I think so.
Yeah.
Vitamin sloppy.
How do you know that?
Sloppy. Vitamin sloppy, boys.
Isn't it obvious? See that?
What do you think?
When you take vitamin S, you do this sort of harkat. This and all you do.
I think if he ever...
I don't think the camera wants to know what kind of harkat is going on before
God.
Melvin got here.
God.
Yeah. So as we were saying, Melvin, get the fuck out of the frame, man.
What? Go from what? I didn't say wait for you.
You ever think about if we were in prison, we would get jacked as fuck because we have nothing to do except lift or read.
But then there's the constant threat of
Dying or
Yeah.
dropping the soap.
yeah.
Yeah, it's that as well.
Yeah, it's got upsides and downsides.
This feels like way harder on this side.
On that side?
On this side, yeah. Cool. Dude, have you checked out Ronnie Coleman recently?
Yeah, like the thing is, like the dude did what he did, and what he did was incredible, right? But he had those injuries for a long time, and it's not that like it was that 800-pound squat, it was that 800 deadlift, and it wasn't that. Like he acquired these injuries in his powerlifting career in high school or something, and he used to have slip discs since then. But he still continued training, and as you become like a world-level competitor, it's hard to like take time off training once you've reached that level and sort of, put your foot off the gas kind of thing. So he keeps training, and that gets worse, just gets worse. Botched surgeries, some of that shit is just bad luck. Some of the surgeries that went wrong, nightmarish stuff, Wayne, like, the stuff that he'd say in some of the podcasts, right? Like where they've drilled screws into his back and they've sort of fused his back together. The screw shattered in his back itself. Like the surgery they've done is botched. So imagine that. When something like that happens, the fact that the dude is still training and he's still so jolly and he's all of that is just amazing, like who he is as a person.
Of course.
So yeah, like it's unfortunate what happened, right? But I don't think it's like just the heavy training. It's probably the injuries that were never looked after, the injuries that were never sort of assessed.
No proper rehab?
Yeah, exactly. No proper rehab, no proper sort of time off probably. Just kept going at it, and somewhere it breaks. Happens to all of us, right? Like in some sense, maybe not to that severity because we haven't, probably
Pushed
never
ourselves to
will.
that severity.
Yeah.
Probably never will.
Probably never will, yeah. Not even probably. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Like, sorry to be negative, guys. Believe, achieve, and all that
Kind of
shit.
how it is.
Yeah, yeah, you know how it is.
Cards you were dealt.
But, that's just the truth of the matter, right? So, yeah. It's just that. Some bad luck. And things like that. But what I love is, like, just the mentality the dude
Yeah,
has.
he doesn't stop.
Amazing. No, it's not just about the stopping. Like the guy never cribs, moans, anything that you can sort of see and talk about in a negative light. He'll never bitch.
That's not Ronnie Coleman.
Amazing. Like he's always smiling. He doesn't give a shit that this is bad or this is this or like this sucks or like he's like, okay,
It is what it is.
this is what it is. I love it. Like that's all he says. Like no, I love it. I love everything about it. Like kind of thing. And he just keeps going. Like
Yeah, enjoy the suffering.
seriously, I don't think he even sees it that way. Like, that's the thing.
Yeah.
Like even with the food, like and the dieting and the training and like injuries as well. Like he just keeps going. Like
Yeah, there was this Jiu Jitsu guy I used to follow. Like, I kind of still follow him, but not as much. He's a black belt and he used to compete regularly. Obviously, he's 40 and he has his own bunch of injuries. knee, elbow, you name it, whatever, lower back, all of it. And then someone came up to him. They're like, "Aren't you scared? Like you'll mess up your body,
Yeah.
or what serious injuries lie down the road? Should I even like beginners mostly they come up to this, or even like intermediate people, they're like, I'm scared of getting injured." And the way he looks at it is like he wants to reach the end of his life, like he wants to die like 70, 80 with a completely like injured body, everything fucked up. Like he thinks of when he was 20, like he has a new car and he's driving, and he wants to take this car to the end of the road, like completely.
He wants to fucking blow a gasket.
Everything.
Yeah.
What's the point of going in like to the afterlife if there is one with a brand new car? Like now, what's the point? You can't even use it. You're gonna like give it up anyway. So
that's a crazy.
That's one way of looking at it.
Run it ragged.
Run it ragged through your 70s, like through the years, and then when you're 70, 80s, it's like it is what it is.
Like fucking good riddance.
What's your favorite gym to train at in Bangalore right now? Like,
favorite gym to train
okay,
at?
give me your top 3 actually. It's hard to put one good gym because the city has so many good gyms.
It does.
I'll go with mine. Like I haven't been there yet, but I'm sure I'll like it. As soon as I go, minimum strength will probably be in
nice
my
place,
top 3.
Minimum strength is lit. It's
really like barbell therapy.
barbell therapy, definitely up there.
Actually, a top 3 is also hard. I'll have a top 5. Number 3, it's movement. It's like the gym I'm at all the time.
It's like
Just 'cause
home,
it has something about it, a soul almost.
Exactly. Like the people here, like Mellu and like everybody else, like everybody I got to meet through him actually. Like, he's the guy who sort of introduced me to like all my friends now over here, like all my buddies here.
The entire
like,
gang.
The entire gang, like he's the guy, he's the linchpin, like who, showed us everyone. He's the first dude I met here, and from there, like everyone else, and amazing people I met here, and just amazing experiences I got to have. So movement's always close to the heart. We come train here, we have fun. I used to train alone, so like when I get into this and like I have a group now, it's amazing, right? I get to meet people like Wayne and like, these types of things are possible because of this place.
Hell yeah.
And other than that, barbell therapy, of course, phenomenal, great friend of mine, great gym, probably one of the best in the city, for, just hardcore, heavy training, right? And like the vibe, the equipment, second to none. A gym I work at, I kind of like training. So conditioning workouts and stuff I love doing there.
FedEx?
Yeah,
Which
FedEx. So the one in Kormangala, it's nice and airy.
Have you visited the new HSR one?
Yeah. So it's the old colleagues. So it's his facility. Nice and airy, really nice and bright and everything. So these facilities are great for you to do your sort of conditioning type workouts, HIIT and stuff like that. It's fun, especially with the group and things like that. They have the equipment, the rowers, the skiers, that type of thing. So it's great there, like a nice box kind of thing. That's also a fun type of training. So 1, 2, 3, 4 and 5. Nah, man. I think maybe. Yeah, probably like I'd go back to places that I have a lot of nostalgia for. Maybe Shakti Gym.
Same.
Place where it all started. $500 with a loan from a friend. So yeah, so that is some place that I've always gone back to every now and then. Like I do a year here, there, and then I'd go back there. Just because of the vibe, stainless steel dumbbells, old Hercules equipment, stainless steel stacks. Lovely.
Yeah, dude. The gym where I started lifting actually like almost 8 to 9, maybe 10 years ago just doesn't exist anymore.
Right, yeah.
Pandemic shut.
Yeah, it was brutal, yeah.
It was like the worst gym ever, probably. Like it had nothing, it barely had a squat rack. It had 2 stands, that's not even like a squat stand. No. It would wobble a lot.
Yeah.
And it was still one of the better gyms in my area, but by these standards, it doesn't even come close.
Yeah.
The heaviest dumbbell was like 15 kgs, maybe.
Oh shit.
And
dude, that's like an apartment gym.
Yeah, but it's the only one with a squat stand. And then when I wanted to deadlift, I would move that out. In the same place, I would have to deadlift.
So you had the first combo rack.
Yeah, exactly. And the bench was like, there was a gap in the middle of like where you would put your hips and where your upper body.
Oh,
like
right,
one wide gap.
Yeah.
So that felt like shit. But it is what it is. I saw decent gains. Obviously, I was a beginner.
Yeah.
So anything would work. But yeah, that's where I started. I can't visit that anymore because it's shut now. All the equipment is sold. It doesn't exist.
Doesn't exist.
But I wish I could go back. But yeah, if your gym still exists, like the one where you started, like I think like visiting is worth it.
Is now and then, just see how it is. See the old chaps.
You see the old chaps and they see how strong you've become, and like you feel a little good about yourself.
You feel good, yeah.
Would you change anything, everything that you've had in your journey? Or is it kind of like the mistakes that you made made you who you are. Have you seen that like reel?
Yeah.
Like if I change anything, you wouldn't exist. Like, would you change it? Would you not?
I think the only thing that I'd just sort of do differently is, yeah, of course, you're right, like in that sense, where you say all the stuff that you did is what led you to be who you are now, but you always think you can be better, right? So you want to go to the past and change shit. So what I do in that case is just focus more on like nutrition, not have like a shitty attitude towards it. My attitude back then was that I'll just keep training, and just through training I'll create like the body, the strength and all that type of stuff.
Like more protein?
Just better nutrition. Yeah, more protein, one, and just having a better handle on it, not eating fucking charts after your workout, not doing like a bale
What's your
puri
favorite
diet.
chart? Yeah. Like aloo chaat?
Yeah, man, like I do bale puris and I do fucking
Nice, I love that.
all that type of shit. Like
Yes, I had awesome pani puri, by the way. I just started. I had like really great pani puri.
Recommendable spots?
It's like near Base Fit actually, right?
Oh, yeah.
On that road.
Arnama's gym. Shout out to Arnama.
Yeah, the awesome pani puri.
Awesome gym too. But yeah, along those lines. So yeah, just like, do better with the nutrition. And of course, like, I was a student, I was studying back then, and didn't have a lot of dollar bills to do much with. But maybe just like whatever I was able to do, maybe a few more eggs, maybe a little more milk and curd, maybe that type of shit. Like
More chicken?
Chicken would have been a little out of the picture, because like in the house as well, like we all come from like, conservative sort of culture right here. So that'd be a harder thing to do. I think a lot of us can relate. Some are vegetarians by tradition and whatever else. Yeah, that type of thing. So, and people, of course, like the folks here also have like, I had to like hear this a lot from my folks, like, why do you eat so much chicken? Like, it's not good for you, you're this, you're that, you can't eat it every day, and like, all that type of stuff. But like, you're a meathead, so you'll do all that type of stuff anyway, so it's all right. So yeah, that type of thing. That I would change. I was learning throughout, like one thing, once I started noticing that training was going, upwards, it's linear. So I started like investing more like sort of mental faculty into like trying to understand training a little better, try shit, all that I did. Maybe train a little harder. Actually, I don't have regrets in like the way the training went. That's okay, because that did definitely lead to what I'm able to do now, 100%. Just
You're in a pretty decent spot, I would say. Like,
it's okay, yeah.
could be worse.
Could be worse. Fair enough.
Way worse.
Could be way worse. Right. Yeah, just that. Nutrition, probably. Just
Nutrition, sleep, better?
Sleep, I was doing pretty well back then. Now is actually the time that I've fallen off the ladder completely. Like dog shit sleep. Like, so other than that, yeah, maybe the advice I need to take now is like, some of the stuff. I do the nutrition better now, even though I look like a fat fuck lately, but it's just part of the process. Trust the process.
Shows it's working.
All of that and all that shit, but yeah, just that since then. So just say like, to everybody back in that sort of spot again, take your nutrition seriously, take your training seriously, have fun with it actually more than anything. Just have a lot of fun. I had a lot of fun with it. I had a good crew with me since the beginning. If these people didn't get me into it, then I'd have never stayed. So always like the best you can, find people who you can have fun with, make this an enjoyable experience, have a jolly fucking time so that you stay with it. Do not get into it for sort of the medals, the prizes, recognition, a muscle blaze contract.
The end result.
Yeah, that type of shit, right? Yeah, the end result, right? So do it because, what it gives you. Like, I got to meet people. I wasn't like a big introvert kind of guy. And now I'm able to yap in front of a camera. So it's given me a lot.
Now you're here.
Now I'm here.
The Superset podcast.
On the Superset podcast, yeah. So train by day, Superset podcast by night.
All day.
All day.
Yeah, dude. Like, I want to do this for a long time, this podcast thing. And the reason I do it is I want to build these relationships. I want to talk to these people and have these stored somewhere on the internet to look back on like years down.
Yeah.
So, say you're watching this episode 10 years in, like, I'll be 36, 10 years later, you 34?
34, yeah.
You're watching this episode like, I don't know what kind of technology they have in 10 years, but on like almost in the air, like a screen or something.
Yeah.
What's something you want to tell 34-year-old Dhruv? Like just one line, like something he did, something he did right.
Damn, dude. Shit.
We can cut the...
Oh, shit.
It doesn't even have to be too deep.
I just hope I stay on it by then, and like
You hope you're still lifting.
I
right?
hope I-
Like you didn't stop because of like life
Life.
happens or like
yeah, and like whatever happens, right? Like I just hope
responsibilities.
yeah, all that type of thing, and like I just hope I keep doing it, and like I do different things with it. I see what like the body is totally capable of, and that type of thing. You know, not get locked in, be a little more open. These types of things, just explore a little bit. You know, have fun again. You know, that's all. That's all. I just hope I'm still doing it.
I just hope you're still lifting. And we're all still lifting.
Yeah.
Like that's important for me.
Absolutely. Yeah, that's all. Really.
Cool, bro. Thanks for doing this.
Amazing.
Thank you so much.
Loved it
Really
this
nice
time.
having you.
Yeah,
Hopefully this time we got the audio. And I'll see you in the next one.